What?
To ask me. Sure sounds like a proposal to me.
You get the house all ready for his arrival. Fresh sheets on the bed.
You're not gonna do anything to us, eh?
This cowboy. Who is he? I've been set up.
What if Crawl wasn't the hero, but the villain all along? This recap is about to start a war in the comment. 8th T, the beginning of the film. A car pulls up at a gas station. A man steps out and enters the garage, requesting the mechanic to fix his car. However, the mechanic informs him that the garage is closed and no repairs will be done today. Desperate, the man pleads with him, explaining that his father is very ill and he needs to get there urgently. The mechanic, appearing greedy, asks if the man will pay in cash. Once he gets confirmation, he begins fixing the car. After completing the repairs, he demands $200 for a minor fix. Instead of paying, the man starts laughing and says, "I knew you were greedy, so I have something special for you." He then pulls out a gun, shoots the mechanic, discards the weapon, and leaves. The man then heads to a bar owned by Slim. Here, we learn that Slim had actually ordered the killing of the mechanic because the latter had owed him money for a long time. Meanwhile, outside Slim's bar, a locksmith is repairing the lock, as someone had attempted to steal something the previous night. What was stolen will be revealed later. Inside the bar, we meet Marilyn, a young woman who is excited because her boyfriend is coming to propose to her today. She has even baked a cake for the occasion. Since it is a special day, she decides to leave work early. Marilyn goes to her boss to request leave and notices a stranger sitting there. Though she does not pay attention to their conversation, she leaves for home. The stranger, however, takes drugs and money before leaving the bar. When Marilyn gets home, she listens to a voice message from her boyfriend, Travis, in which he tells her that his phone battery is about to die, but he is on his way. She puts her phone on charge, freshens up, decorates the house, and gets dressed. At this moment, the audience sees that she has a gun in her house. Suddenly, she hears a strange noise at the door, as if someone is trying to enter. Nervous, she goes downstairs and finds the door shaking due to the wind, but no one is there. Meanwhile, the stranger is driving his car and suddenly remembers that he has drugs with him. As he gets distracted, someone appears in front of his car, and he accidentally hits them. In the process of trying to control his car, he crashes into a tree, injuring his own leg. Gathering himself, he steps out and sees the person he hit, a young man in terrible condition. His face is swollen, blood is pouring out, and he is barely recognizable. Looking around, the stranger notices a distant house with lights on, indicating that someone lives there. Instead of seeking help, he decides to flee. He first tries to start his own car, but when it does not work, he attempts to take the victim's car. When that fails as well, he takes the keys from the injured man's pocket, drags the body into the woods, and hides it. Back at Marilyn's house, she is preparing to eat when someone suddenly knocks on her door loudly. Initially, she thinks it is Travis, but the knocking is too aggressive. Within moments, she realizes that it is not him, but someone else. She refuses to open the door, yet the intruder enters through the back. It turns out to be the same stranger. The light he had seen from the road was coming from Marilyn's house, and now he had made his way inside. He ties Marilyn to a chair, but his intentions remain unclear. Meanwhile, at Slim's bar, the police arrive to question him about the murder of his associate, McConaughey. Slim denies involvement, claiming he was in the bar all day and urging the officers to check for themselves. The police seem satisfied, but reveal that the murderer left his gun at the scene. This surprises Slim. Why would someone leave evidence behind? At Marilyn's house, her friend arrives to deliver the cake she had forgotten at the bar. She knocks several times, but when no one answers, she leaves the cake outside. The stranger watches her closely. Once she leaves, he relaxes and casually drinks milk from the fridge before looking at Marilyn with an intense expression. However, he does not seem to have any ill intentions toward her. He unties the cloth from her mouth, fixes her skirt, and covers her up. Instead of harming her, he starts searching the house. From a photo, both the audience and the stranger realize that the man he had hit with his car was none other than Travis. Marilyn's boyfriend. The stranger now understands that he needs Marilyn's car to escape, but Marilyn informs him that Travis had the only set of keys. The stranger recalls that he had placed the keys in Travis's pocket and left him in the woods. Realizing he must go back to retrieve them, he sets off into the forest. Meanwhile, Slim remembers his prized possession, a gun that once belonged to his grandfather. As he checks the box where he kept it, he is horrified to find it missing. A chilling realization dawns upon him. The previous night's theft was no ordinary robbery. The stranger had stolen Slim's gun, used it to kill McConaughey, and intentionally left it behind to frame Slim for the crime. Enraged, Slim's nose begins to bleed from stress. He has been double-crossed. Back in the woods, the stranger finally locates Travis. To his shock, Travis is still alive, struggling to crawl toward home. Seeing this, the stranger grows furious. Though Travis is not at fault, the stranger decides to end things and kills him. Searching his pockets, he finds the engagement ring Travis had planned to give Marilyn. Instead of discarding it, he keeps it for himself. After retrieving the keys, he begins to bury Travis's body. At this moment, Slim arrives at the scene. He sees the stranger's car on the road and notices the bloodstains. Realizing something terrible has happened, he assumes the stranger must be nearby. Seeking revenge, he heads toward Marilyn's house. Upon arriving, he calls Marilyn and delivers shocking news. Travis's car was found wrecked on the road, and he is missing. Marilyn, already aware of the situation, pretends not to understand. Just then, the stranger sneaks up behind Slim, holding an axe. Without hesitation, he swings it, striking Slim in the neck and killing him instantly. Marilyn, horrified, watches as blood splatters on her face. Terrified, she rushes upstairs to escape. The stranger follows her, ready to kill. As she reaches her room, she grabs her gun. The door is closed, and when the stranger tries to turn the knob, she tightens her grip on the trigger. The sound of the trigger clicking alerts the stranger, and he wisely backs off. He realizes he cannot confront Marilyn head-on while she is armed. Thinking quickly, he tricks Marilyn by making noise downstairs, making her believe he has left the house. However, he is still inside. As soon as she steps out of her room, he attacks her, breaking her nose and making her drop the gun. Just as he prepares to strike again, Marilyn manages to retrieve the gun and fires a shot at him. The film ends with a haunting image. The stranger lying dead next to the drugs he never got to take, and Marilyn holding the engagement ring she would never wear. Movie camera got a better theory? Drop it in the comments. The best take gets a shout out in our next video. Thanks for watching.